to you, and I'll just read their names. I believe you have their background information, so I'm pretty sure you read it already, and you are impressed as well as I am. So the 13 individuals that we are presenting to you today are Bruno Michi, Uzara Asensio, Austin Battledon, Jeff Bissonette, David Denicky, Bridget Donegan, Emily Duquette, Svetlana Glinka, Laura Orr, Rhiannon Orizaga, Joe Pugh, Lisa Rogers, and Lindsay Short. And just in the interest of time, I'll cut my presentation short.
Can I make a request? Can we match names and faces here?
Oh, yes, that's good.
Even if it just means having people stand if they're able, just so that we can.
So, can all the PRB applicants be voted if you're here right now?
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your willingness to serve and for being here today. Okay, questions?
Could you just, for people watching, tell people what the Police Review Board does and what these volunteers do?
So, great question, Commissioner. So, the Police Review Board, most simply, hears fully completed misconduct investigations and makes recommended findings and proposed discipline in misconduct cases in their office of all shooting and deaths. These community members before us today will serve individually as part of a community member pool. The Police Review Board has 5 voting members. There is 1 slot allocated for 1 community member. In officer-involved shooting use of force cases, there are 2 community members that serve.
And then are the others just advisory on the policies, or is that the only function that the folks who are applying for, we're going to approve today, is taking turns to be on particular board reviews?
Yeah, so it's the way it works is basically on an individual case. The police bureau will put together the 5 voting members, and the community members who are here today, it's just each one of them serves on a particular board.
And how is it selected which one serves on a particular review?
So that is done randomly with the review board coordinator. So a lot of it is based on availability of community members, and that's actually one of the biggest struggles of getting volunteers and then having people that serve for their 3-year terms. A lot of the boards are in the middle of the day, and it can be anywhere from a 2-hour to 4 or 5 hours. So the fact that we have so many community members who are willing to give up a significant part of their workday, I believe most of the community members who are volunteering for this particular 3-year term are fully employed and or have obligations with their family, like being full-time mothers.
About how much time would they be given in advance to know that they were selected for a particular board?
About 2 weeks.
Okay. And is there any attention paid on the selections, making sure that there's a balance of women and men and racial diversity on the board?
So I believe one of the reasons why the auditor's office was given the privilege of gathering the community members was so that we would do a pretty diverse and wide-reaching selection of community members. So one of the things that Irene does and other IPR staff members do when we are doing our outreach events is trying to go to particularly events that are aimed at women and particularly new and emerging Portlanders. When you go back, let's say 6 or 7 years ago, we had a police review board, particularly on the community member side, that was overwhelmingly retired individuals and overwhelmingly white, and it didn't really reflect our community, and particularly on police oversight issues. I think there's an important aspect of making sure that all Portlanders are represented on the Police Review Board, because we all as Portlanders have a stake in the success of the Police Bureau and holding officers accountable. And these community members, as you've seen by them standing up, really are a very diverse group of individuals.
I appreciate that explanation. I'm also wondering, when you're going to seek the 5 voting members and somebody's picking the one, is there attention paid to who the other 4 would be? So
the 5 voting members, that's determined by city code. So the involved officer's commander is one of them. IPR director, assistant chief who's in charge of the branch, and a community member and a peer officer member. So those are the 5 voting members of the Police Review Board.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not being very clear, but although that was good information to get out to. If you look at, does the person appointing whichever one of the volunteers gets in on a particular case, look at, well, we've got 4 people with these demographics, and could we please make sure that we've got somebody who matches, for instance, either the appellant or the officer?
To my knowledge of that, I do not know that answer.
And you and the auditor are currently in process of looking at this review board process and bringing back something to council?
So the Police Review Board process, no. So as we're all aware of, there was a focus group that looked at a variety of changes to the accountability system. So what the auditor proposed was a relatively narrow attempt at fixing, particularly issues revolving around the earlier stages of the administrative investigation process involving IPR, the Police Bureau's Internal Affairs, and then the appeals stage involving the Citizen Review Committee. The only change to the Police Review Board would be to allow community members to be able to be present during the fact-finding section of the Police Review Board and be able to speak at the Police Review Board, which they currently do not.
I thought at one point there was a suggestion to put more of the Citizen Review Committee on the board.
So that was part of the option of possibly merging the Citizen Review Committee's appeal function with the Police Review Board. There was significant public feedback on that. One of the biggest issues was the Police Review Board is not a public body, so there is not ability to comment publicly. The city could choose to do that, but it would face significant issues from the employee side of possibly that being a mandatory subject of bargaining. And so that's where, I guess, the decision makers within the city left it.
Well, thank you, and thank you for just explaining to people watching at home in very clear language what all of these roles do, and thank you all for.
Yes, ma'am.